Hey, it's B-Rad Celebrity Hairstylist here, your host of the Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast, a platform that allows the voices of the beauty industry to empower with the spoken word. Thank you for joining us on today's show. We are currently at 55.5 thousand downloads. Thanks to you. And we're on over 40 plus podcast platforms, including Amazon Music, Audible, and Spotify. So, celebrity hairstylist Monaè Everett announced the second Texture Style Awards. It's going to be an exciting show. I don't know if we can even get it all in what I have to talk to you about today, but Everett is teamed with Beauty by Imagination, so BBI, and the Aveda Arts Sciences Institute to continue celebrating diversity and beauty for all hair textures. New York, returning for the second year, the Texture Style Awards presented by celebrity hairstylist Monaè Everett celebrates the beauty of all hair textures and honors artists who have mastered those styling techniques, representing the brilliant diversity in style and texture. The Texture Style Awards has categories including straight, wavy, curly, coily, and student styling, with subcategories for up and down styling. That sounds so amazing. So let's welcome hairstylist, public speaker, beauty contributor, Monaè Everett. Yay!
Goodness, thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to be on your super famous podcast. Thank God for people like you who create podcasts for the beauty industry.
I think we all created something amazing. So I think that's what we're going to talk about today. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
So I have been a hairstylist for almost 25 years now. I was definitely one of those children who were super opinionated before those opinions were celebrated. We didn't have all of this social media and e-news, red carpet and all of that stuff. And people would say, if you can't do better, you shouldn't say anything. And I was like, I think with a little bit of training, I would be able to do better. So I thought I would be in cosmetology just to pay for going to school, but I fell in love and I found out there's so many wonderful and exciting pathways associated with cosmetology and being a hairstylist. So I have pursued a few different ones.
Exactly. Wow. So when was the turning point you knew you wanted to be in the beauty industry? Like not thinking about it, but said, I'm going to make that step and be part of this wonderful industry?
I think it happened more than once. I was really blessed that my high school had a vocational center and I wanted to get into cosmetology, but I have a similar story to most where my family and friends were not supportive of this. My school counselor actually would not let me take cosmetology until I was able to graduate at 16 as a junior. And all of a sudden it was, if you come back your senior year, you can take cosmetology. So I only took cosmetology and other electives my senior year in high school. And my freshman year in college, I had to commute back to my high school, finish up the cosmetology program. But I still only thought I would do it through college. So I remember the literal day the lady I assisted taught me about celebrity hairstyling. It was my senior year in college. I had already been taking my own clients, but I didn't know celebrity hairstyling existed. I truly thought celebrities went and got their hair done the night before and then went and took the picture. I had no idea there was so I've been chasing that feeling ever since.
Well, and that's the thing. It's a totally different world. So what's the main difference between a behind the chair hairstylist and a celebrity stylist?
Oh, I love that question. I'll answer the first part of what's the difference between behind the chair hairstyle and a celebrity hairstyle. One thing that I've definitely noticed is a lot of times when you work behind the chair and you provide a hairstyle, you're telling them it will look great shortly in a few days and a few hours. Whereas when you do it for celebrities for photo shoots, it needs to look great that very moment. And I would also say a difference between the type of hairstylist is I think celebrity hairstylists and session hairstylists, we have a better understanding of timing and communication than the average behind the chair hairstylist. Like we time our services from hello to goodbye, as a behind the chair stylist tends to say, well, it only takes me 30 minutes to do a haircut and blow dry. And it's like, but if you timed it, normally it's about an hour because where was
Hmm.
the shampoo? Where was the coffee time? Where was this? So, I think we have to have a better understanding of how long it takes for things to happen and be able to communicate that with the remainder of the team so we can all work together.
Yeah, and that's a great thing, even for behind the chair stylists, that they know their timing. Like I haven't worn a watch for years, but I think for me, it's because I work on the ladder as a celebrity stylist. So when you're used to timing, I always know what time it is, even though I don't have a watch on. Because like you, I know exactly how much time each thing takes, how
Yeah.
much time I have, and what kind of sometimes you're doing one celebrity, sometimes you're doing transitions for that same celebrity. When you're doing stage work, when you're doing stuff, they're going to come out in different looks, or they have several changes, or they have that kind of stuff. And it's totally different, because I think that's a totally different world when you become a celebrity stylist, or even learn how to get into doing so, because everybody thinks, oh, you work with celebrities, oh, it's so great, who have you done? Mm. They don't know the work it takes. They don't know how to, like you said, you get if you're behind the chair, oh, a couple days it'll grow in, it'll move, we'll do that. But when you're on a shoot, when you're on set, when you're on, you have to be perfect. You can't be like, they're not going to lose money by having to do several retakes because it doesn't work.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
sort of thing. And I know we'll talk a little bit about the end, but I believe you also have training and things that you teach others if they want to learn to get in the industry, that sort of thing as well. But we're really, your list is so long. I had to like, how can I get all this in? I think we're gonna have a multi-part.
I love that. I'm always down for a multi-part.
Eventually, maybe we'll co-host.
I love that. You need me. Yeah. So I also have the Monaè Life Academy where I teach people how to become celebrity hairstylists and makeup artists, the marketing, the etiquette, the other skills required, how to promote yourself, how to negotiate, how to follow up for pitching yourself, and how to follow up for actually getting paid. Because, we want to actually take in the money that
Exactly.
it's just such a interesting industry. And I'm thinking people think what we do is just so glamorous. I'm like, do they know I have been wigs for a small tour I'm going on next week? I have to send everything in for approval. Once I get it approved, I have to make 3 or 4 different versions of every look because she may wake up and feel differently about it.
Exactly.
Or you want to work and you get there and it doesn't.
No, it's a totally different world, and especially too if you do wigs, if you create wigs, if you do that with the lace, with everything else, it's a whole other world when you're on on set. You know what I mean? A lot of my friends, they do, and I've had other my good friend Cherise Slate. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she's amazing at what she does. She does a lot of television work, a lot of movie work, and other friends that have you just know by the wig that they've done, who the actor is,
Yeah.
who wears a but but what we really want to talk about is the Texture Style Awards. They sound fascinating. How was the idea first conceived?
When we were all at home on punishment and we couldn't go anywhere, I didn't even know the world could shut down. And so much emphasis was placed on the things that are wrong in our world. One of the biggest things that was focused on was the lack of diversity and inclusion in the beauty industry. And, I have been very vocal about this for probably 10 years or so.
Yes.
And I had the thought, like, the world seems to be trying to crumble. How can I help add to our beloved beauty industry and make it fun to learn to style all hair textures, or to be able to style all hair textures? And I said, most hairstylists that I know are competitive and would have fun creating looks, and being able to take their own photos to submit so they don't even have to hire a photographer. And I thought this would be great because people also want to know, how do I work with celebrities and how have I created partnerships with brands? And it comes down to relationships. It comes down to making sure they know you. They will know you through the competitions you enter. If you place as a finalist, you'll get to network with these brands. You get to improve your resume. You get to be featured in the media. And I said, okay, I feel like I can kill multiple birds with one stone.
Exactly. So with this one, this is now your second annual event. So
Yes.
what was it like putting the first one together? Was it
Oh my God.
easy? Was it?
I almost fell out of the camera thinking about 2021. I always laugh and say I mapped out how much work I thought it was going to be, and it was at least 10 times more.
Uh-huh.
So 2021 was not easy, but I'm passionate about giving hairstylists the opportunities they deserve. Think about how many times you've been watching TV or seen a magazine and you say, well, I could have done better than that. And I'm saying, prove it.
Mm-hmm.
And let me help you get in the situation where you can prove it, where the powers that be can see you and see your talent. So 2021 was really hard to sell the vision, but 2023 has been unique because we're going to have so many live components. But
Yes.
you're helping your support. I need you guys to enter and to show up so the industry can see how important diversity and inclusion is.
Exactly. So what are the benefits of someone attending? So either as a spectator or as a competitor.
So let's back up. So in order to enter, you can enter virtually up until June 30th. You just submit your images up until June 30th at texturestyleawards.com. Then we'll have 2 rounds of judging, one from our celebrity judging panel, and then the next public judging. But to come to the actual ceremony on August 13th, there are so many benefits, including the networking, getting face-to-face time with these brand representatives, meeting the celebrity judges, your Confessions of a Hairstylist, your Simone Pananini with 1.5 million followers, meeting Kia Neal, Color King, so many amazing judges, Marquetta Breslin, Rebecca. There's so many great judges. When are you ever in a situation where you can walk up and network with them? Then we're going to have our sponsoring brands there. That's Weedad, Wet Brush, Curls, BioIonic, Moroccan Oil, BioLodge, Raw Lugs, Social Art House, Read the Teas, Evoke. When are you ever in a situation where you can walk right up to them and meet them and network? It's going to be an amazing experience. It's going to be full of experientials where you can take images, where you can meet people, and you can support your fellow hairstylists.
And that's amazing. And that's what a lot of people miss. They think it's just another hair show, but they miss all those opportunities of meeting those people, collabing with those people, connecting with those people, or even it's simple as, as I say, like sending an email. What's the worst somebody can say? No, I'm not interested. But they may say, hey, I want to learn from you, or hey, let's connect. Or like you said, you have the opportunity to take pictures. You have the opportunity to meet people you wouldn't otherwise meet. And some of these people, yes, they're big names, but they're probably just as relatable as you and I. I mean, and that you'll get in the industry. Some people are about themselves, but the majority of us, we're hardworking. We're just doing our thing. And if somebody wants to grab our knowledge, and to me, that's how you leave your legacy, is by like giving what you know, putting that out and have it carried on by others. So we kind of help by reducing that learning curve, the same with the teaching that you do and all that kind of stuff, that people can just come to you that don't know how to do it, but have a passion for it. Why not talk to somebody who actually has done it? Model yourself after them, and then just go for it. It may take some time. You may luck out, but
2 more points for you. Let me connect 2 dots. When you're there and you can meet the brands and you see their representatives, coming to these events are how those people became brand representatives. So you connect, and that's where the brands get to know you. Believe it or not, they're not these huge conglomerates. You still have to connect with the people for them to know you. And to connect another dot. So many hairstylists would like to assist these major hairstylists. This is how they meet their assistants. It's very difficult to choose an assistant from just a list of names who apply. You always feel more comfortable choosing someone that you've at least had a conversation with.
Exactly. And that's how you make that impression. And then the person sees this person's a go-getter. They're really interested in our company. They want to know more rather than waiting at home, submitting an email and say, I hope they contact me. Because a lot of times they get hundreds or thousands of emails with the same thing. I want to be an educator for you. I want to be an assistant for you. I want to be a brand ambassador for you. I want, this, but it's I want. But what value can you bring to their company, right?
Exactly. And at
That
least,
sort of thing. So if someone wanted to enter, how do they know if they should enter or not?
okay, so you should enter Texture Style Awards. If you, one, want to be busier behind the chair, you want to choose your clientele, or two, if you want to do things beyond the chair. So you can be an amazing, popular hairstylist in your city, be working behind the chair. That's great. And hair competitions and winning them and the media placements help you to choose the clientele you want to work with. Or you can have dreams of working beyond the chair. Maybe you want to be a platform artist. Maybe you want to do photo shoots. Maybe you want to do advertisements. Maybe you want to work on sets. We got to start getting you that media attention where people are able to see your work and create a buzz so that one, they come to find you, or two, when you apply for these jobs, when they Google you, all of this positive feedback comes to them. And, we understand that there are so many hairstylists that don't know how to style all four hair textures. So we even offer live in-person classes in New York, the end of May through the beginning of June, where you can come and learn how to style each individual hair texture for photos, not just for working behind the chair, but to make sure your hairstyles look amazing in the images that you can take yourself to submit to Texture Style Awards.
Now that's amazing. And you need as much kind of, I think, tools and skills, in your toolbox, in your arsenal, that can help you grow. Because I think for a lot of us as stylists, when you first get done school, you just kind of want a job anywhere. So you go start working anywhere. And then what they do is you kind of have to, as a new stylist, take any client that walks in.
Absolutely.
So your employer doesn't really give you a choice. You're like, okay, I'm here, I'm being paid, or I'm on commission. You have to take that client. So I think that kind of gets ingrained in us as stylists, that we don't think we think that anybody who wants their haircut, we should take them.
Yeah.
And sometimes that client is not a right fit. Or like you said, sometimes you want something more. You want to be a platform artist. You want to be a brand ambassador. You want to teach classes. You want to, do something more than just being, okay, come to work, stand behind the chair, 8 hours, 14 hours, go home, come back the next day, do that, collect a paycheck. There's so much more for us. And I think there's so much more opportunity now than there ever was before.
Absolutely.
With competition, with just getting your, because I think a lot of people, when you talk about a brand, I think we ourselves are a brand.
Yes.
Like you said, like they'll see you in magazines, they see all the good stuff written about you, they see all that stuff, because there always has to be a face to a brand, some kind of entity that's a company that you don't know. And like you said, walk up to these manufacturers, introduce yourself, say, this is who I am, this is how we can collab, or that sort of thing. So with it going on, so what are the dates and where is it at for the Texture Style Awards?
So anyone between the US and Canada can enter Texture Style Awards.
Ooh.
Anyone between Canada can enter
Yeah,
Texture Style
I'm
Awards.
so excited now.
Yes. TextureStyleAwards.com. There is a whole submission section. You have to submit by June 30th, but we do have early bird prices by April 30th, where you get 33% off. Just go to TextureStyleAwards.com. I want to outline how to know which category to submit. And there are 10 categories, 4 categories. There's straight, wavy, curly, and coily. up style, or down style. So that's 8 categories. Then there's a student category, up style, student category, down style. So for the pro categories, you're going to take the final hair texture you created and submit in that category. So if your model started with very coily hair and you decide to straighten it and put it in an up style, then you're going to submit her in the straight up style category. If the hair starts out wavy and you decide to set it on tiny little hairpins, now it's coily, and you decide to leave it in a fro, you're going to submit in coily down style. So we don't care about where you started. We care about the creativity of where you end. Doesn't matter if you use hair extensions, hair accessories, none of that matters. You can take your own photos if you like using a smartphone. Just use a solid background, not Monae's background. Solid background of white, pink, purple, black, brick. Anything solid and non-competing with the hairstyle. And we really just want to celebrate your ability to work with that hair texture. You're going to submit by June 30th. And let's back it up a little. If you have interest in learning about a different hair texture, for example, the curly hairstyling class is going to be May 15th in New York City at the Aveda Arts and Sciences Institute. The straight hair category will be May 22nd. The coily hair category will be June 12th. All 3 will be at the Aveda Arts and Sciences Institute in Soho in New York. Come live. Oh my God, I have gift bags of over $250 each. Our sponsors really came through. I'm like, at this point, you're paying people to come to classes, and they want to make sure that you can continue to service your clients or have the tools and products to service the new clients you will attract after you learn how to style each hair texture. And these, let me tell you who's doing the gift bags. Weed Ad, Bioionic, Curls, and Wet Brush. That's every hair texture right there. And there are curling irons in the bag. $200 curling irons in the bag. Oh my God, are y'all paying people to come? I mean, VIP are only $115. That's for 2 classes, 2 giveaway entries, another gift bag, and an entry into Texture Style Awards for free. I mean, come on, it doesn't get
that's unreal. That's unreal. Like, just to basically, like you said, they are paying the person just to come. So to me, it would be a no-brainer just to show up and get all the stuff, but you get great education as well, because I think a lot of us aren't really, unless you started that way. I was lucky because I took those types of hairs, that type of hair when I started. So with our salon, we were fully inclusive and fully with diversity. So we were trained, because most salons, they do one type of hair and then that's all they do, but they don't really kind of get into different types, which brings me kind of to my next one. Let's talk about diversity. So for those that don't know, what is diversity?
So diversity is the ability to appreciate people different from yourself. In this context, we're talking about diversity in hair textures. So straight hair, wavy hair, curly hair, and coily hair. Everyone in the world is born with at least one of those hair textures. And sadly, we keep finding so many hairstylists who can only do one hair texture. We've gone through training. Let's respect our training. Let's respect our clients, who should have the ability to sit down in any chair and know that they are going to look better when they get up than when they sat down.
Exactly. So what would you suggest? How can we, so with diversity, how can it be more inclusive in the beauty industry?
So you can take classes to learn how to style different hair textures. You can pay attention to different hair textures. You can also call out some language that is not very accepting in your salon. When clients come in, there's always a lot of backroom conversation among stylists. You can call out that it's not okay to label a hair texture in a derogatory term. It's not okay to say things like, oh, I don't want to take that client. Her hair is going to take forever. These things are not okay, and it perpetuates an understanding that there is less beauty associated with that hair texture, and that also there's no need to learn to style that hair texture, because who wants to do that anyway.
Exactly.
And I
Hmm.
like to be blunt and make it clear. I never talk about race with hair texture because there are Black people with straight hair. There are
Hmm.
white people with very curly hair. There were white people getting relaxers to
Hmm.
straighten hair. There were Black people getting curly perms to make their hair curly. There are Asian people who have stick straight hair, and I've still seen stylists struggle to style that hair. It's about hair texture and being able to style the texture on that person's head.
Exactly. So what will we need to do in order to facilitate diversity in their clientele in a business? So if a salon or a hairstylist wanted to be more inclusive, how would they facilitate, or what are their next steps?
The first thing you want to do is take classes. You do want to make sure you know how to style that hair texture. You want to learn some basics. For example, most people have a hard time with curly and coily hair. An extreme basic is that these hair textures need a lot of moisture and they are far more delicate than straight or wavy hair.
Mhm.
So think about the things you can do differently with that basic underlining um, explanation of hair texture. Start thinking it through before you decide to move your hands. Then take some
Mm.
classes to learn. Once again, it's going to be your thought process and mindset before you ever start touching another hair texture. And I know what you'll find is hair textures have way more in common than
Mhm.
not. One of the biggest funny things is that straight hair and coily hair, I style most similarly.
Mhm.
People think that they have the least in common, and that is absolutely not true. Learn about those hot tools you're using. Learn how hot do these hot tools need to
Mhm.
be. Can I turn down the hot tool? Does it need to be quite that hot? Start working on things like that.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I think a lot of people use product improperly. They
Yeah.
use their tools improperly. Number one, because they think if I turn this way up as high as this iron will go, I can get done faster. Or they
Yeah.
have a lot of hair, but they don't understand that when they're using it, they may be burning that texture of hair just
Yeah.
because they think, oh, it's really thick, it's coarse, it's wiry. But you're exactly right. You don't need to always have it turned up to the highest level. But really, no, is this hair type lacking moisture? Is this hair, or does this hair type need more moisture, or does it need more protein? And to balance it out as a good, either if the assistants are at the sink, they should be able to analyze right at the sink, give recommendations to say,
Absolutely.
I feel, because the biggest thing I always got when people are like, my hair is so dry. It wasn't dry at all. It was just very coarse. So they
Yeah.
didn't understand they don't need a pH balancing rinse or conditioner. They needed they needed more moisture to replenish, to put back into it. So it's really, as I say, retraining, and I think that's what people really need. So if people wanted to find out more about you, where can everyone find you on social media?
So you can follow me directly at Monae Artistry, MONAE Artistry. But I really want you to focus in on these Texture Style Awards. So please follow at Texture Style Awards. Talk to your hairstylist friends, talk to cosmetology students or those hair enthusiasts. Yeah.
Hmm.
We got love for them too. They can enter the student category and let them know about Texture Style Awards, where you can win thousands in prizes, one-on-one mentorship with individual brands, exclusive invitation only event opportunities. Let them know how Texture Style Awards is here and it's life changing. Those who won
Hmm.
in 2021 were featured in multiple different publications. All of them now work as brand educators. All of them have increased their salon reach. And it's just been amazing to be a part of their journey and see how much better their career is doing after entering and winning Texture Style Awards.
Yeah, that's amazing. So with that too, so if some were to enter, they're only entering into the category of the after. So they start with curly, they end up straight, they go in the straight category. So
Absolutely.
would the person need to just submit the final
Yes.
picture or the before and the after?
You only submit the final image. This is how we can't judge you.
Yeah.
We do have an option if you would like to enter a photo of you working on that client, because when our media partners look through the entries, it's nice to have a photo of you working, but that's optional. We make it really simple. Just enter the final image. It doesn't even have to be a brand new image. It can be an image that you have entered before. We even make it so simple that you can enter up to 3 images per category.
Oh, wow.
We have a special, if you enter 4 different entries, you get a discount. So it's 4 entries for $100. It's only $30 to enter the competition. We make it really,
it's insane. It's insane. Because I did 8 years of competition and never was it like $30.
It's always hundreds of dollars.
Exactly. If not more, you know what I mean? Just, yeah, it's like, I don't know. I'm so excited for this. I'll even throw in, I'm throwing this out. You can say no, but whoever the winners are, I'll even interview them on the show.
Oh my gosh.
So if they want to come on the show, by then we'll probably be 60, 70,000, you know, that they get a platform. So that helps them kind of, and I always find it great. And I've done it before in other competitions where I've talked to the winner and you see kind of where they come from and what they're about, how they created their collection, like all that stuff. Because I think everybody has a story. Everybody has something to share or say, hey, that person's just like me. So as we wrap up, what's a nugget of gold you would like to leave our audience?
You just try. Keep pushing yourself. You'll always fail if you don't give it a try. You may surprise yourself where your skills lie and how you're able to handle stress and pressure. Pressure makes diamonds. You're worth it. Give yourself a try and go after your dreams.
Yeah, everybody needs to enter. So everybody listening, make sure you get into this Texture Style Awards today. As soon as you hear this, don't waste any time. Look through your photos, find a model, solid background. We don't want busy. You know what I mean? But it doesn't hurt to try. And at least if you've done it, I think that, and that's an amazing nugget of gold. I want to say thank you, Monaè, for being an amazing guest on today's show. I know I want to do more because I have so many more questions, but we're really literally out of time. We only have a few seconds left, but I also want to invite everybody to what I'm doing now that's coming up in 2 weeks. It's coming fast. So it's the Mayan Soul Beauty Industry Cruise, May 7th to 12th, 2023. Tickets are going fast. So go to www.beautyindustrycruises.com and I'll see you next time.